Today on Peliculas with the Bros, we review the movie Avatar, directed by James Cameron, and we have a couple questions that need to be answered, like, does Avatar kinda suck?
Does Avatar have enough meat for the buffet that is 2, 3, and 4?
All this and more will be answered today on Peliculas with the Bros. What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
And welcome everybody to the show. This is Peliculas with the Bros. My name is Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
And Peliculas with the Bros is a show where me and my brother Ivan discuss a movie. Every week we discuss a new movie. Ivan, what's the movie of the week?
Avatar,
directed by James Cameron. But before we get into that, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. However you are listening, however you're watching. Public service announcement right here. We are Peliculas with the Bros, right, Ivan? It's like I said at the top of the podcast, we're a podcast, a show where every week we talk about a new movie. And if you like that kind of thing, well, yeah, you're in the right place. You know what I mean? Yeah, kind of jibbling and jabbling here. But you know what my new motto is, and I told you this the other week. If I'm gonna sweat, I'm gonna make it sweat hard, baby. So please like, follow, and subscribe if you like this kind of content. If you like to listen to two Mexican brothers talk about movies. We're Mexican, but we're actually kind of white. That's neither here nor there. If you like movies, subscribe to this. You can find us on any podcast platform like Spotify, iTunes Podcast, Google Podcasts, Deezer, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud. Anywhere where you listen to podcasts, we should be there. But enough is enough. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, Ivan, of why we're here.
Yeah.
Are you ready to travel to a distant planet?
Yeah.
And realize your life is nothing compared to that of a nature-loving, 10-foot-tall blue man cat? Well, you're in the right place.
Yeah.
Avatar, Ivan.
Yeah.
Written and directed by James Cameron.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
Written and directed. The premise of this movie: in 100 years, Earth is going to suck so bad that humans will need to go to a distant land to find some minerals and shit. Unfortunately for us humans, there are humanoids. The Navi. Or the Navi?
Navi.
The Navi that live on this distant land, and they make Yao Ming look like an underdeveloped teenager. The humans will try to use an ex-Marine who transfers his brain into a Navi clone to negotiate with the Navi. Will Sully be able to reason with the primitive people, or will their world be so dope that it will make Sully a species traitor? With a cast of Sam Worthington as Jake Sully, Stephen Lang as Colonel Miles Quaritch, Sigourney Weaver as Dr. Grace Augustine, Michelle Rodriguez, I forgot she was in this movie, as Trudy Chacon, Giovanni Ribisi as Parker Selfridge, Joel David Moore as Dr. Norm Spellman, Dilip Rao as Dr. Max Patel, Zoe Saldana, the great Zoe Saldana, as Netiri, and Laz Alonso as Tutsti. Don't laugh at James Cameron's characters. He made these. And we're going to talk about James Cameron right now. He made a bunch of movies.
You could say that again.
Piranha 2, your favorite movie. Then he made The Terminator, and then Aliens, and then Abyss, and then Terminator 2 Judgment Day. After that, he made True Lies, Titanic, Ghost of the Abyss, Aliens of the Deep, and now we have this movie, Avatar. He got into the business because he was really inspired by Star Wars, like most people of that time and that age. He started doing special effects. He got a couple side gigs as a special effects artist on movies. He got notable enough to get an opportunity to direct. Unfortunately for him, that was Piranha 2. According to most people, that movie doesn't really do much for anyone. But after that movie, he's like, I want to direct my own stuff. I want to do what I want to do. He writes The Terminator. He pitches The Terminator. Wow. No one wants it. Supposedly, he sells it for $1 as long as he can direct it. I think it's Orion Pictures that says, okay, let's do it. It's a hit. And then off of that, he makes Aliens, which is a sequel to Alien, one of my favorite movies of all time. Mother, father, house of Gucci.
That's right.
um, yeah, he gets aliens, which is a pretty like you make the Terminator, and everyone's like, wow, this guy has something, unique story, great, cool film. Let's give him aliens franchise, and it goes big too. So it's like, dang, this guy can actually do it. He makes another original movie called The Abyss, which was a hit, but it was still like, it was okay. Things were missing from it. They give him another chance. He makes Terminator 2, essentially the biggest movie of that time. And the special effects were just like, oh my God, what is this man doing?
Dear God.
So it was basically like his get out of jail free pass, or more like, I have this card now, and now you can never talk to me again, and I can make whatever I want. Obviously, the rest of his movies hugely successful. Titanic and this movie being the biggest ones. But he's known for pushing technology forward.
Good.
We talked about George Lucas in the same way, where they do the same kind of thing. They're like, I need more to be able to do what I want to do. And I think he's a little bit more, I think he's better suited than Lukey is, Georgie
Porgy.
because he actually puts in the work and does the directing.
Yeah, I think George Lucas is like, I want it. Why don't you make it? And then this James Cameron's like, I want it. Let's make this.
Yeah. He'll get in there and be like, all right, I'll do the hard drive. You do the heat sink.
Yeah.
I'll do the heat sink. You do the GPU.
Yeah.
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 I know my stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
And I just realized that, like, they have the same way of thinking of, like, I want this, I want that. But I feel like Georgie Porgy is more reserved. It's like, I want this. I'm not going to do it until I get it.
Yeah.
Where James Cameron, he's known for being a taskmaster and sort of like an asshole.
Yeah.
He's like, give me this or else I'll quit.
Mm-hmm.
And they could do it.
Right.
I'm not sure which one's better.
He's probably a little nice.
Yeah. Always be nice, right?
Yeah.
But the takeaway from like reading all these movies, and after watching this movie, we already know what this movie's about. This guy makes movies, baby. Like all caps movies.
Blockbusters.
If he had a podcast, it would be called All Caps Movies.
We should get him. Make that podcast. Come on.
Hey, Cammy. What's his
I like
nickname?
JC.
JC?
Yeah.
Hey, JC. What's up, Bubba?
Bubba.
What's like his nicknames that we can, like, hey, JC, what's going, big boy? Like, what's the...
I thought JC was a nickname.
But you need like another, like, even like cuter / friendlier, almost like endearing name.
Cammy.
Hey, JC Cammy.
Oh my God.
How's it going, Cammy boy? And then we just say, we have a pitch. It's called All Caps Movies. And you're going to be our perpetual podcast host.
Quit everything you're doing.
Quit everything you're doing.
This is what you're doing now.
But he's going to be like, but how can we advance this? How can we make it even better?
IMAX podcast.
IMAX podcast. Lossless. Dolby audio. Like, I'll be on the left ear. You be on the right ear type of podcast.
I'll be the middle ear.
What?
I'll be middle ear.
You'll be the bass.
Oh. I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah, and then we just talk about movies. We talk about whatever movie you like, and then we just agree with you because we're too afraid to talk back. Yeah. But yeah, so he makes big movies, you know? And he makes movies that are just like good, solid, beefy, chunky meat and potatoes movies that work.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminds me of Top Gun and like
classic. Just like, oh yeah, that's a movie.
But also with the additional, like, every movie is doing something new technology wise.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool too.
Yeah.
Like, at least he's known for that too. Because I think if it wasn't for the technology that he's adding to every movie, he would kind of be somewhere. He would be at a lower tier, I would say, at least. I don't know what tier that is, but
Trevorrow tier.
no, that's a pretty low tier, baby.
It's like
Trevor
our-
tier is reserved for a few people. Evan,
Colin Trevorrow.
Colin Trevorrow
Yeah.
being the one and only.
Yeah.
You know what's the saddest thing about that is that like the movie's actually successful because of damn China loving it over there.
Yeah, but it's less successful than the first two. Like it's been going down.
No, I think it's the most successful
But
after.
like home streaming.
I don't know. Maybe I'm talking about out of my ass. You know actually what I want now?
Hmm.
I want Trevorrow to like be
Dead. Oh.
no, worse, sent to China. Like sent to China and like forced. What is it called? Like when we kick someone out of the country, America.
Extradite.
Yeah, we extradite him to China, and
Mhm.
he's forced to make movies for them, and like he has to make him just like this movie, just like Dominion.
Oh.
Like you're forced now to make Bugland and I don't know,
Yeah.
Shark World,
Yeah.
and that's his punishment.
Forever.
Yep.
I like
And then
it.
he's gonna say like, "Oh, I love." You know what I hate about him too? Poor guy. I hate like in all the interviews, he seems just like,
Normal?
yeah, this is what I like doing, and he's just like not very passionate.
Like, you want to see some evil in his eyes if
Yeah.
he's gonna be doing like these kind of movies.
Yeah.
But it's like this is just a normal guy who sucks. You know?
Like, what's so good about this guy?
Yeah.
Okay, enough about Trevor. Every week, it's like almost Mad Men style
Yeah.
with us. I've been here on Peliculas with the bros. We like to look at how the sausage was made. So, turn on that sausage maker.
It's in the cloud now.
How do you transfer the pig to the cloud?
Um,
Crypto?
A transporter, like a little. You put it in, close the window pane, press a button, and then like Star Trek.
Beam me up, Scotty.
And then in the cloud, they kind of rearrange the cells, like
Yeah.
cook them, like rewrite the code, so it's like, this is cooked bacon now.
Wait, I got a better one.
Okay.
You put the you put the piggy
Uh-huh.
on the platform,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go away. The platform's outside
Okay.
in like a desert.
Yeah.
Put on the platform. It's kind of cloudy, right? Cloudy desert. You go away. You go behind the bush. All of a sudden, you see a cloud move.
Nope.
You're like, what the heck is that? And then all of a sudden,
Floats up the tornado.
yeah.
Oink 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 oink.
Oink, oink.
And it spits it out sausages.
Yeah. Yeah. See?
Like, sausages.
And then we say, nope.
But then you looked in its eyes, and then it gets you.
Oh, damn. We need to like find a way to make peace with it.
I think if
Like we give it the
just-
pigs, it gives us the sausage.
like just it's like a house. We put it in there with the open roof, close the door, and then it's like a giant tunnel, like behind us.
Yes.
Where like we have no chance of looking up until we're like miles
Ah.
away.
Gotcha. Okay. There we go.
Solved.
So this is the sausage being made right here.
Yeah.
Okay. How Avatar was made. The script, good old Cammy boy, Jamie was it JC Cammy?
Yeah.
JC Cammy, he started the script in 1994. He wanted to use computers to make a movie for a while. He was like, I want a movie that's like CGI, but with realistic looking people, not like anime, not like Toy Story. Like
Yeah.
I want the real shit. Around 2005, he started debating whether to start Avatar or do Alita Battle Angel. He chose Avatar. I don't know really why, but he did. He got a professor of linguistics to make the Na'vi language.
Cool.
So he did his real research. Fox was scared to make this film. They're like, you always go over budget.
You go too far.
You go over budget. You always take longer than you should.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, but money, baby. How much money do I make you?
A lot. Okay, go ahead.
Basically. And they're like, all right. There was one quote where they said, I don't know if we're crazy for giving you the money or if you're crazy for thinking you can actually make this film. Which is kind of crazy that like he made Titanic and they were still doubting him. or more so like you make Terminator 2 and Titanic, and you still judge them.
I think they just didn't trust CGI like we do. Like today, if someone
Hindsight.
said, "Yeah, they would make Avatar," like, okay, do it. Back then, it's like CGI can't do that.
Yeah.
Like we're not there yet,
Yeah.
but he made it there.
Jesus Christ. Matt Damon, Jake Gyllenhaal considered for the role of Jake Sully. He
Mhm.
went for this guy because he was cheaper, and he wanted someone where the audience was like, "Oh, I don't know this guy at all."
Ain't that the truth?
Does that work? Does that work for the movie, do you think?
Yeah, because I still don't really know him.
Good. Yeah, me neither. Famously, the movie title poster, the title used papyrus.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great SNL skit with Ryan Gosling,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, it's a scene where he's like, every night I try to sleep but I can't, and all I think about is that damn poster. And he goes around like looking for the graphic designer that made the poster. It's great. You guys have to watch it. But Papyrus Ivan, he straight up just went like, dude, looks good.
I think it works. It's like
It does.
if it works sort of thing. Like I never cared.
I think that's like such a
I think it's because you're more into graphic design, so you see like
yeah.
all the fonts,
Yeah.
and I never noticed. I think
'Cause
most people don't.
I remember when I was in school, my teacher was like, never use papyrus.
Yeah, but there's always exceptions. Like
Yeah.
that's what like all teachers say.
But I think the exception is like a Kanye type of exception.
Mhm.
Like almost ironically,
Mhm.
quasi ironically,
Right.
where it's like, this is actually good. He just never knew how to use it.
Yeah.
Where I think this movie's like, it kind of fits. No, it shouldn't fit with the style. It should just be like weird.
And if like
Anyways.
the rule is like no, never use it, then nobody's ever used it. So now you
Right.
have like a clean slate.
Ah, interesting. That's true. 30 hours to render a single frame of this movie.
Very good.
Server
Very good.
farm up the wazoo, they would say.
I'm sure. Today, 5 minutes. 5 minutes tops.
Today, $5. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That's
Easy.
it, Jamie Cammy. JC Cam. Why do I want to go Jamie Cammy?
Go ahead.
Okay, Jamie Cammy. Ivan, do you remember the first time you ever watched this film?
Probably theaters, but I don't remember.
I remember. It was 2009.
Wow.
I was 19. Had fewer hairs than I do right now
What?
as a boy.
You said like the same sentence 4 times, like different ways.
I was tall. I was pretty tall.
A year younger than 20, they might say.
And I was amped up
Okay.
because the hype was real back then. They were saying this movie was gonna be like it was gonna blow your freaking mind as far as like the technology and the 3D of it all.
Yeah.
And at that time, 3D was like coming back in vogue a little bit. Obviously, there was like the fad in like the 60s and the 80s, but this 3D was like really like, they said it was spearheaded, and it was like the film was made for 3D. And that just really enticed me. And then just like, it was supposed to be like our version of Star Wars, you know? Like a new world,
Still can be.
a new world,
Mhm.
a whole new thing, a fresh world building thing. So have at it, you know? Which is kind of interesting to think about it now, and I'll say why later, but it's just like, wow, that's what it was like supposed to be.
Mhm.
It's debatable whether that is or
Yet.
isn't. Sorry. And I vividly remember the first scene in this film
Mhm.
where Jake Sully is being woken up in that like space station,
Mhm.
and just thinking like, oh my god,
Where am I?
this is so cool.
God.
God, give me a Diet Coke, man. Wait, what's like some typical thing I would eat as a 19-year-old?
I don't know.
What's like a? Where's my monster? Where's my Monster Energy drink?
Where's my cold slice of pizza?
No. It's my Monster Energy drink, and probably like some weird candy, just to be like funny.
Where's my Tosti Locos?
Give me some Tosti Locos, bro.
Did it say like really heavy? Where's my Tosti Locos?
Yeah.
Like you didn't even have a Mexican accent before you went in.
Yeah,
Just-
I definitely inherited a Mexican accent all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So weird.
Like-
But yeah, so I really remember that part, and I really remember liking the movie. I don't know if I watched it again ever after that. I'm sure I have. But we watched it in theaters recently because they re-released it, right?
Yes, sir.
How'd you watch it?
In theaters.
What format? 3D?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah. There's only that option.
Okay, cool. How was it? Wait. How was it like, not the movie, the viewing experience in 3D?
I didn't really notice. Like it wasn't like it was non-distractive, but I don't think it really needed it too much. Like there's moments, well maybe because it was good, I didn't notice it,
Yes.
sort of thing.
I think that's it.
But also like there wasn't any moment where I was like, whoa. But it's an old movie, I've seen it before. Maybe this next Avatar is gonna have that for me.
Yeah. Maybe.
If it does 3D, do you know? If it's
Yeah, it is. It is.
But I think it's made for 3D thing is just like they don't do those corny like whoa,
Right.
which means like they're smart about it. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, there's trees in the foreground, let's make those 3D,
Yes.
and then it just feels a little more immersive.
Correct.
It's not like there's one scene where like they're shooting water at a water tank,
Uh-huh.
and it was like, psh, it's like oh okay, that was a little.
I don't remember that.
It's at the very start.
Oh,
It was
okay.
like just a throw off
Gotcha.
scene, but.
Just you always have to do one for the good old 3D heads out there.
The real 3Ders.
What did the 3D heads wear? Like they have
the classic red and blue ones. Like,
They're like, I'm here for the 3. No, man, we have new ones. Like,
Like,
oh damn,
this ain't the same.
man, I remember those classic red and blue ones.
Those
that
are cool.
You get it like in cereal boxes.
I remember when I first like knew of them, I was like, I want to wear that every day. They just look super cool.
Yeah. There's always things like that as a kid where you're like, I'm gonna look so dope wearing this every single minute of my life.
And I did look dope. Wore 'em for 5 years.
And from the age of 6 to 11, I look dope. What'd you think about the movie, Evan?
I forgot.
Okay, let me set you up a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Ivan.
Yeah.
What'd you think about the movie Avatar?
It's good.
Oh,
It's a classic one. Like,
yeah. It's good.
It's not like overly like, oh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
What is like the amazing good?
It's good.
Really?
It's good.
I thought it was just like a yell. It's like, it's good.
No.
No.
That would have to be like, I'm tired of. It would be a movie I'd be tired of, but then it turns out being good. Like if Don't Worry, Darling, is that the name?
Yeah.
If that ended up being really good, I might have used that.
Like a rage. It's good.
Like, it's good.
Okay. We need some kind of like AI meta intelligence to dissect your it's good tonal shifts.
The nuances of it all.
Yeah. Like the robot just be like, that means it's a 9 point whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the layman folk out there.
Right. The ones who like can't understand.
Right. But obviously our listeners understand.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I liked the first time. I loved the first time watching it. I liked it this time.
Yeah. I think between like this viewing and like it must have been like so many years since I've actually seen the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's also like one of the first movies where it's like a very iconic movie that I got to experience.
Yep.
You know, but then
It's your Star Wars, essentially.
yeah,
in
but
a
it
way.
didn't really change me.
Right.
Like, I wasn't like I'm a movie guy now.
Yeah.
But what was I saying?
Sorry, you were saying that it's the first movie that you got to experience myself.
Oh, but then like there's like the criticism between the first time or like that the initial years of that release and then today
Yeah.
has always been like stories, man.
Right.
Like it's Pocahontas,
Yeah.
and that just always like rattled in my brain
Yeah.
until this viewing.
Woo!
It's still a little simple, but I think like this whole time I was a little too hard on it mentally.
Yeah.
I was never like, oh, that movie sucks. Like I was never that guy, but inside I was like, I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
It did what it needed to do.
I feel the kind of the same way, because when I watched it, I was like, "Oh my god, that movie was so cool! It was amazing." And then all the criticism came. Well, it wasn't like it was a horrible movie, but they're like,
simple.
it's a good movie, but it's a simple movie, and the plot's very like a retread of everything that you've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I was like, so. But now, like as a regular film critic, you know, like as Adrian Afrosio, the film critic,
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, it is very simple. But like you're saying, it's still good.
Yeah.
And it's good, I think, because he's building this world that is brand new.
Yeah.
It's not Pocahontas in 3D. It's this Na'vi world in 3D, right? And I think that it's in itself is unique enough to make this film.
I mean, it depends how these movies come out. 3, 4, 5, 8, 9.
Which is, that is like the dumbest thing. He's like, I'm working on the next 5 movies all after each, like one after the other.
Like that itself is like a red flag, but it's also like a super green flag because like nobody's done that really.
Yeah.
Like technically that's been done by the time he's announced it to like when it's actually happening.
Yes.
Like probably like some like Endgame 2.
Right.
Or what, Infinity War, Endgame.
Yes.
I think Tom Cruise is doing that with the Mission Impossibles. It's probably
Matrix.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, 7 part 1 and 7 part
yes.
2.
But I forgot what I was saying.
Simple Pocahontas, but it's good enough, unique enough. You're saying I was saying that basically that it is like a retread, but it's what he's doing, the world building that he's doing is. Your smile is like, I'm ever gonna remember, bro. It's gone, baby.
I can find another. I'll do another thread then. Move it forward.
I love that. So like, keep talking.
Like going right.
Cause I'm a dummy right now,
idiot.
baby. Oh, that's so good. You know what I like though is that you said that like the 3D is
non-obtrusive.
Yeah, non-obtrusive and like not like the other ones, but like, I mean, not like the other 3D movies where it's like a punch is coming straight to your face or a water gun or whatever. I think partly it's because yes, we need to sort of like not be as obtrusive, but it's also I think his goal was to immerse, but give you that otherworldly feeling that is Pandora, right? Because you're in Pandora, you're in a different world. What's another way other than just like showing them how can they really feel it? Let's make it very subtle and make it kind of like a fever dream, right? And I think that helps.
But I think it's hard to say if it actually works. It could just be like, oh, it must work. So like, no, like you in your head think it works. So then it does work. And you're like, oh, I was super immersed. And that's because of the 3D and that. You would have to find like test groups. Like,
well, I think isn't the test just like watching it at home and watching it in 3D? Or you're already like,
I think if you know the bias of like 3D, like you need somebody completely pure.
Yeah.
Like an Amish person.
Yeah.
And show them this and see if they die.
But I think it's kind of the idea of like, once you show someone once you show something to someone and it's different, they're gonna be like, oh, that was interesting. For example, like the Amish person, you show them this movie in the house, they're like, yeah, that was an amazing movie. I liked the action. You show them this in the theater, like that was even better. It looked cooler.
Show them VR. That was amazing.
But it's not like they'll say like, if you told them how much better, like, yeah, it's a little better. But that's all it needs, you know?
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. It's debatable. The interesting thing too about it is that I don't know how much this is a 3D, but everything is so crisp. Like everything is in focus, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
I think it's because there's a lot of CGI that purposely clouds the work, because like it takes a lot of work to do every single aspect of a scene. So what they do is like, oh, there's fog here. That covers up a lot. Oh, there's dust from the kick-ups. That covers a lot. Oh, it's nighttime. No light. That covers up a lot. Like all those tricks add up until you can't really see. Like Godzilla, like that, like he's perfectly dark, dust everywhere. Like I think there's a scene where he's just coming out of a cloud of dust. It's just his head. But James Cameron, he would be like, I need to see every pore of that disgusting thing in broad daylight and close. And then everything around them has to be perfect.
That's kind of crazy now that you mentioned that, like the fact that that is what he's doing. And then you even think about something like Game of Thrones, where like they got so much backlash for that one episode that was like all black. And like, we want to see the action, but you can't even see shit because everything's all black. And he's like, no, we're gonna get a server farm that's as big as Iceland, so you can see the tentacles from this monster that I created. Whether that works for them, I think that works because it makes the movie so different, you know?
Yeah, and it's like nature. I don't think there's a lot of. I mean, there might be fog, but I'm just thinking like in modern CGI, the reason there's so much dirt and cloud is because like we kind of destroy all our nature. So there's just like lots, and then there's dirt on lots that get kicked up.
Yeah.
And then cement, like that gets destroyed. It goes everywhere. Now there's dust everywhere. Building gets destroyed, dust.
Like it's almost natural. That's more natural than not happening.
Yeah. So if you see like everything's crisp, like what's going on?
Yeah.
There's no Los Angeles fog here, you know?
Right.
I remembered my point.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I was talking about how it's simple, like this movie, but I was saying if it depends how the next movies come out, how good they are, if they like hold up well, because I'm thinking of Star Wars 7 where I thought that was simple, but then my excuse was like, it's the first one. Of course it's simple. It has to hit the same beats.
Yeah.
So everyone can like be on the same page. And then it could go wild. So if he's doing that with this, not that he's going to do Star Wars, whatever, but like, since this one's simple and it's like the first one, it's like kicks off everything. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm hoping.
We all hoping, baby.
I'm hoping that it's like a 15-year time jump. Like I'm predicting kind of the sequel.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer, but I didn't remember anything.
Yeah.
So I'm still kind of blank on it. But like a 15-year time jump, and then like maybe they advance their technology with the technology they got. And then like he has a kid who's like half whatever. And then they come back for round 2, you know? And that is just for movie 2. Like if they win, lose, like you could really open up what happens. Like, do they get space travel? Do they just do the same thing to like another planet? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but wouldn't the plot still be as simple?
I don't think it has to be. I think I hope it's not.
Because what you're describing isn't too complex or isn't too like innovative.
But I'm saying if it, like the non-simple route is like they just come back, fight again. But I just don't know how. I think he would have to really see potential for 4 more movies or 3 more movies, whatever it is. Like, I don't think he would be like, oh, I just want to do this for the rest of my life. Like,
well, I think that, like we mentioned earlier, the thing that drives him is technology.
Mm-hmm.
And for this movie, the upcoming movie,
Water.
Way of Water.
No, I'm just
Um,
water was the technology.
The water is the technology. Shooting underwater is the technology that he's exploring.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that finally we have a way to shoot underwater and it looks dope.
Right.
So that's this. What's going to be the next thing? It has to be something that pushes the technology forward again. Cuz
Mm-hmm.
if he makes like something that's just like a sequel, I don't trust him to make an entertaining enough movie. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like he
You
needs
think
to
he's
do
too focused
something
on
new.
like he's focused on the tech more than the story, or
I feel like after this one, since he's making it in such quick succession, that it's just gonna be more story, more basic story, and I don't think it's gonna be as good as this Way of the Water is gonna be. Because we're gonna be mind blown watching Way of the Water,
yeah,
but when we watch the next one a year later, we're like, well, I already saw this, and it's just like a different plot. We're gonna be out of that, like giving him credit for the technology.
yeah, but it's just tough to like. It's prediction, right?
Yeah, it's a prediction, definitely.
Just since it's so unprecedented to do that, and then with that much money, with such big movies, with like a photorealistic CGI, and he already said like, I'm just hanging on the fact that he said 3 more movies after this.
Right.
Like, how do you like even visualize that there's gonna be 3 movies?
Right.
Like, I would just go like, oh, maybe I'll do a sequel, see what happens from there. Like, no, 3 movies,
At least.
and it's like all at the same time. Like, what? It's probably gonna be some huge like war saga, you know? Like this one was just the kickoff, and then 2, 3, 4 will be just like the Avatar Wars.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's definitely gonna be interesting what route he goes. Some cool things about this movie. I really like his world building. I like his the connection between the Navi and the nature. How they connect with like the animals. To me, that's pretty unique, but I'm sure it's been done before. But seeing it like this is like, it's cool. It's kind of gross, but it is cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then the idea like that the whole world is connected through like this tree, you know?
Yeah.
And it kind of reminds me of like in real life we have like fungus, and that kind of works the same way where they're all sort of connected
Or the
underground.
internet. Oh.
So we're fungus?
Or Navi.
We're Navi already.
The blue people. We're blue people.
Why? Sad?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. Quick question. We already talked about 3D. I have that here on my notes. Is there any 3D movie other than this that you're like, that's a good 3D movie?
Nah.
And isn't it crazy that like there were so many movies that came out 3D, and then there was a big push for 3D TVs, and it was just like all fluff.
Yeah. I think like they just put all their eggs in one basket sort of thing.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like 3D just isn't worth it. Like I would have to see the process behind doing that. But like even if it makes it like 10% more
Right.
immersive,
Right.
I don't know if it's worth the time and money. Not that he needs like he's trying to save money or anything.
Yeah. I'm on a budget, baby.
But just like I feel like that could be better spent working on CGI or anything else instead of like, ooh, can I put this tree in the 3D space over here?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I don't know.
It just still feels like a fad. Like there's nothing that's like, yes.
I actually disagree with just like
All of that.
everything you just said in your entire existence as a human being.
Of course.
No, I just disagree that I feel like this movie is how 3D should be used,
Mm-hmm.
and this movie's only amazing because of the 3D.
Wrong.
And I mean, like, actually, there's two reasons why this movie's good. Cause the um, the motion capture
Mm-hmm.
and how it looks quasi real. Plus, the 3D gives it like the extra layer, and I
Yeah.
think that enough is enough reason to make more movies like this from other directors. I think there is one other movie or two other movies that are considered like good 3D movies, but I mean, how am I gonna watch it? You know, like they have to re-release it,
Yeah.
or I need a device that can do that. I was just thinking about like AR too.
Right.
Like if there's something to that with
When you
movies.
put on and then like you're watching Avatar. Let me load in trees around you.
Yeah. But I think at that point you're not watching a movie, you're like in a world.
Yeah.
So maybe not.
I mean, either way, with 3D, you're still like in that square box. So I could even argue
Yes.
that like it could almost take you out of it because it's like, oh, it's coming towards me, but then hard cut in the corner, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like still they're trying to simulate it, but it's just impossible to be there.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's
We'll have to see.
Yeah, I'm interested to see
If he
what
doesn't, imagine this just isn't 3D, this movie. He's like, oh, it was a fad.
we talked about how Cabby Boy he's a real nut for technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be the prevailing theme that pushes his movies forward, specifically this movie, right? Um, but after rewatching it, I started thinking like, and like you even mentioned it, like it's a 15-year-old movie now, or
Mhm.
10-year-old movie, and there's parts that do feel kind of like old-ish. Not so much that it looks bad, but more just like we kind of seen this already with Star Wars. I mean, with Marvel stuff
Mhm.
already. And the idea of like, if you're relying so much, if your movie's so much reliant on like that it's a new technology, will it even last long enough for people to make an impact, you know?
Right.
And I was thinking about like how in hip hop there's only a couple records every other year that last.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the beginning of hip hop, when it sounded new and fresh, 10 years later, it's already like out of style, you know? It really needs to have some meat on the bones,
Story.
some stories, it needs to make you feel something. I wonder if this movie, and more so Cameron as a director, sort of suffers from that too. Like, and I think the best way to think about it too is when you look at this movie compared to Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, it's supposed to be our Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Brand new technology, new world. Here we go. But it didn't make an impact at all, really. Like you don't see kids wearing. Well, you don't see them wearing Avatar costumes, but you don't see them playing with like Avatar toys, where you see that
Mhm.
everywhere with Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough just because Star Wars is a lot more marketable. Like, you got a lightsaber, bro. Like that just beats anything in the Avatar world like a million times.
Yeah.
And then they got robots, they got this, they got that, that voice. I mean, like a trillion things they can market, and that is like an advertisement itself.
Yes.
Like Avatar, what do they have? They got that giant tech.
That
mech.
thing is cool, man.
Yeah, but that's one toy.
And it's the bad guy toy.
Yeah. Like, what does the Navi have? Like,
Bow and arrow.
seen it.
Has a cool. What is it? A Tokoro? What's the? You're the dragon rider.
Oh, I don't remember. But
Those cool dragons.
yeah. But I think even if it had cool stuff, I think it's. I mean, I don't know.
You're right. That like it's not as marketable
Yeah.
as Star Wars. But it is interesting to think about like a movie that is the biggest movie of all time. It's bigger than Infinity War,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't have that much of an impact.
Like Drake.
Ooh. So wait. Ivan, no, you're killing him. You're killing him.
It jammed.
Here he goes. Avatar is Drake,
Sure.
or Avatar or James Cameron is Drake. It's more James Cameron, huh?
With Titanic.
Titanic is more, has a bigger impact than
I mean, even Drake had his Titanics, you know?
all eyebrows, baby.
I think it depends how these movies come out. 'Cause I'm always willing to forgive the first one out,
Yes.
but then like second time, like fool me once, shame on you sort of thing.
Yes.
But he didn't fool me. It's not I'm unfoolable, you know?
No, you are.
Oh yeah. But if it's just like the stepping stone for even greater, like I could live with that, and then I won't think he's the Drake. But if these come out and it's like, well, I guess it looks amazing, but the story is nothing.
Yeah.
Not that the story has to be super complicated, just like a real modern story, not just. And I don't mean like politically correct modern,
Right.
just like
Something fresh.
yeah. And Top Gun was fresh, but that wasn't new.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just find something. Find that middle ground where, like, if you want to do the Top Gun route, go talk to Tom Cruise. There's a secret that he has that you got to study.
Scientology. Who said that? I think it was a Scientology ghost. Scientology. Isn't it crazy? Think about this. From the time Avatar came out, this movie, to The Way of the Water, which is coming out at the end of this year, how many Marvel movies have come out?
All of them.
Which is like
Iron Man
30?
came out 2008.
Yeah.
So like literally all of them.
And what does that say about like how Cammy did it and how Marvel did it?
This is me talking out of my caboose, of course.
Your ass?
Caboose.
What's a caboose?
That's how you say butt.
Oh,
It's
your
like-
ass?
I feel like we would not have any Marvel without this. Like what we have, just because like this proved that computer can do that photorealistic look, which is needed for a lot of Marvel movies, like just Thanos himself. I know that was kind of late into the Marvel, but he looked real, like a thing that exists. And I don't think something like that happened before Avatar, where it was like a fully CGI person.
Right. Yeah. And also, like now Marvel is kind of doing it the shitty way because like a lot of the graphics aren't as good.
Yeah, they're like, they know they can get away with it, sort of thing. So they just get away with it. But it's coming back to bite them.
Right.
On YouTube, like my recommended stuff. Not that this is any like
Indication of the
yeah,
political party you follow.
but there's like always like why I fell out of love with Marvel, how Marvel's dying, what Marvel can do to fix itself.
Yeah.
Like a million. I haven't watched any of them just because like, I mean, I kind of feel the same way, but I don't want to talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
I'd
You
rather-
know, I know enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just wait until they either fail horribly or make something amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like they saw it. They saw what he can do and like, all right, let's make the Chinese version of this.
Racist.
Let's make it
The bootleg version.
let's make the bootleg version.
Uh-huh.
Let's make it quick, let's make it dirty.
Yeah.
We can do it, and let's just pump these out. And it's kind of gross too. It's like I guess it's the difference between like a comic book and like a graphic novel.
Mm-hmm.
It's like comic book, they churn them out every week, you know?
Yeah.
Just quick and dirty. Graphic novel, it's time, patience, takes years, you know?
Mhm.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting. are the Navi kind of hot? All that and more. That should have been my question at the top. Um, the reason I ask you this is because my friend. Just kidding. I have a friend that knows a
I have a
friend.
friend.
No, people when this movie came out were like, "I want to live in this world,"
Mm-hmm.
and
It would kill them easily.
yeah, they would die, obviously.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to see like the theme of like nature is better than.
I mean, these people can live in this world. Just like go to the Amazon. It's equally, if not less dangerous than the world they're dreaming about.
Yep.
And people live there.
Okay, but not so much. Let's not talk about the weirdos that say that. But what do you think about the idea of like when you saw this movie, where you're like, oh, you know what?
Yeah, baby.
They kind of live a little better than us.
I think.
Like sitting on a tree that hugs you is probably better than sitting in front of a computer talking
Yes.
to a 19-year-old and
Yeah.
calling them a weird
Yes.
name for beating you in Fortnite.
I said yes.
Oh.
Yes. They do, and I do want their level of peace.
But
I like movies. I like carne asada fries.
oh god,
Come on.
you're like, you know my answer.
Let's be real. Yes, I do think, but I think it's possible to live that way in this environment.
I think what we're like, specifically us in San Diego, or anyone in the city environment, what we're missing is like the ease of access to nature.
Yeah.
Because for me, I would love to go on a walk in a cool valley.
Yeah.
But you know how far I have to go to do that? Like, I go on a walk every morning, but I have to walk around these dumb houses around my neighborhood. I would love to walk around valley with my shoes off and talking to birds and acting like Snow White, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't. But that would be a dope if I had that kind of life where 1 minute I'm on my computer, the next minute I'm in nature.
Yeah.
Maybe if that'd be cool. I always thought like a city like New York, but with like a super like, I don't know, like integrated into nature.
Yeah, like just pure tons of very dense buildings for like housing and stuff next to it, or not even next to it, just like have stores and everything in there. And then like you go outside, take a walk, you could go to national forest,
Right.
and that's it. And then but in those huge buildings there's like pathways where you could like walk faster to get outside, like a huge like a little ecosystem,
Right.
or like a pod of people.
Or like make cool living spaces in big trees.
Like a treehouse.
I like how like you took my theory and you're like, you want a treehouse?
That's what you said.
I want something I can eat out of that's easy to take around. You want a bowl, Adrian.
Bowl.
You're talking about a bowl.
Idiot.
I'll give you a bowl right now, damn it. But yeah, I think that'd be cool, right?
Yeah. But carne asada
Ah,
fries.
Can't forget about the carne asada
Love
fries.
driving on the freeway.
But what about
Mm.
you live in a tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
A tree house. Let's just call it that. You live in a tree house.
Tree abode.
Tree abode.
Yeah.
And you have greenery, it looks nice, and then like you're like, I need some fruit. You go outside, grab a strawberry, even though strawberries don't grow out of trees, but you grab a strawberry. Wouldn't that be just like the bee's knees?
Is there one for carne asada fries? I'm so hungry. Fork outside the tree. A little bushel of carne asada
Oh.
fries.
But how are you gonna get like the perfect scoop with like sour cream, guacamole?
Science. They'll figure it out.
Oh,
Like a tree that like a little fruit. Like you open it, like the perfect little spread of fries, guac,
Ew.
sour cream,
Oh. I mean, it's theoretically possible.
piping hot somehow.
No, you have to put it in the microwave at least.
Nah, I want
You
to
just like ready. It's like a little egg almost.
Nah, I'm grossed out.
I'm grossed out. Other things about this movie. Should they recast Jake Sully?
Jake Sully.
Sully.
No, I feel like they'll kill him. Like, and they don't even need his body anymore. He's just
Jeez. Oh yeah.
is just motion
Like
capture.
let's just get another random guy and call him
Yeah,
Jake Sully.
like they'll probably he might die in this movie, but it'd be cool to kill him. You know?
Yeah. I mean they can, but as far as like, would it be better if you had Matt Damon as this guy?
Mm, nah, I don't think so.
This guy has a very basic face,
Yeah,
very round,
yeah,
but it works.
yeah.
Um, what else? What else? What else? The Colonel, he's perfect, isn't he?
He's a little too perfect, like the tropey.
Yeah, like
But it's fun.
if you go to a dictionary and look up archetype,
Yeah.
his face is gonna be there, just like oh, this is what it is.
He's buff too.
Buff,
He's like 80.
at least 60 years old,
Yeah.
and just ticks all the boxes of like stereotypical Marine guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I like how like unrelenting he is.
When like they want to steal the helicopter
Yes.
and he just opens. He's like masks. Opens it up.
No, he didn't say that. He just goes out and he's like,
He says masks.
no, no, no. Oh, yeah, mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that little warning. That's all he gave him. And then boom, boom, gets the gun. It's jammed. He's like, here's the mask, and he's like scrunched face the whole time.
So good.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I would definitely be like the nerd in the back of the room, just be like, he said mask, damn it, don't you know?
Hyperventilating out of fear.
God, that would be me. There's special people out there that can do that, right? Like those
Mhm.
Marine guys that just like gun.
Yeah,
Or like they see a grenade, like they grab it and they throw it back.
yeah. I think it's just practice.
Gotta practice
Yeah.
grenade scenarios, Evan.
Yeah.
What else do we got here? What else? Got a New York Times review for you from Manola Dargis. Few films return us to the lost world of our first cinematic experiences, to that magical moment when movies really were bigger than life instead of iPhone size, if only because we were children. Movies rarely carry us away, few even try. They entertain and instruct and sometimes enlighten. Some attempt to overwhelm us, but their efforts are usually a matter of volume. What's often missing is awe, something Mr. Cameron has, after an absence from Hollywood, returned to the screen with a vengeance. He hasn't changed cinema, but with blue people and pink blooms, he has confirmed its wonder.
But
I think, and in this article, the reviewer says, yeah, it's basically like Pocahontas and like a bunch of other plots that you've heard of before, but it's still awe-inspiring.
it's gonna be weird. I want to see what he does in the next movies, just because I feel like the awe-inspiringness is kind of not overplayed, but like because CGI has advanced so much, like I didn't feel too much awe during this movie because I kind of already knew it.
Yep.
And
it's old.
it's old, and CGI has been doing this for like 15 years now.
But not as good.
Yeah, but still like touches that. So I wonder what he'll do this next one.
The next one is going to be awe-inspiring. The one after that is the one I'm worried about.
Oh.
Because, like I said, they're doing a lot of underwater stuff, so it is going to be unique. It is going to be cool. The one right after that, which is going to come out like the next year, I don't know. I do feel like it might get lower. Like it won't be as good.
I mean, I just think there's like a lot of room, even for 3 movies, for it to grow up, just because I know like the initial creation is what takes the longest of like something fresh, because like all the assets you have to remake or make from scratch, the language from scratch, the animals from scratch, biology scratch, like everything scratch.
And he had 10 years to like
Like
really beef that up.
ching, ching, ching. You know, 10 years. Like that's unprecedented.
He probably has like 5 books of like the lore of
Like the letter
Pandora.
A
Yeah.
in their language. Yeah. I'm saying like it could be crazy.
Yeah.
It could be something amazing for 3 movies.
But I guess the thing that also worries me is that like it's not like he's a innovative storyteller, or
That you know of.
I guess he is an innovative storyteller just because of the technology, but he's not an innovative. Like we don't go to him for like the depth of the movie.
Right.
We go to him to be entertained,
Yeah.
and we're entertained because of the technology. I don't know.
But
It'll be interesting, like you said.
could be good script. You never know.
Yeah. Ivan, let's rate this movie out of 5.
Those little floaty things.
What are they called?
I think it's like the seedlings of 5 seedlings. Seedlings.
Out of 5 seedlings, how many seedlings is this movie?
I give it a clean 4.
Nice. Do you think it would be higher when you first watched it in 2009?
No.
You're lying.
No.
You think it would be the same?
I don't remember ever being like amazed by it when I was like, that was cool.
So 12-year-old Ivan was not like,
I was like seeing it. Mid.
I've seen this before.
Exactly. I
Okay.
might have been, but I feel like if it really affected me, I would have remembered. But I don't remember it affecting me.
I give this movie a 4.25. And I think I would have gave it a 4.5 back then. Wow. 4.25. It's a good movie, entertaining, fun. But yeah. I think this movie will go down lower and lower as time goes on.
I think you're wrong. If the next 3 movies are like live up to what I'm imagining.
How long was this movie? 2 hours and 30 minutes?
Like 45. It was a doozy.
It was a beefy one, right?
It didn't feel that long, honestly.
It felt a little long for me. Ivan, that's it for Avatar. Can we quickly decide what the next movie we talk about is? I have 2 suggestions, and then the third is like, well, if you don't like those, then what else can I do? Blonde.
Sure.
You want to do that?
I want to hear all of them.
Hocus Pocus 2.
Nope.
And the third one is, I don't know. We have Smile coming out.
Nope.
And Pearl is out.
I heard good things about it, but I'd rather watch Blonde.
Your boy Scorsese said, I haven't been that, like disgusted by a movie in a good way.
For what?
Pearl. But I do want to do Blonde.
All right.
There?
Sure.
All right. We'll do Blonde next week, starring our girl Ana de Armas, directed by our boy Dominique.
Isn't it like Anthony?
Something Dominique.
Yeah. I've heard mixed things.
I'm almost done watching it.
Shut up.
Evan, it's time for a section called
Things and such.
Oh, interesting. I don't have much here.
No things or such.
I have one thing though. I have my topic headline right here says men being men. Men.
What's the
The biggest one of the week, Ime Udoka, basketball coach for the Boston Celtics, suspended for 1 year for illicit messages sent to consensual relationship with a coworker, but unethical, and supposedly there's like more to it.
Men being men.
And then Robert Sarver, owner of the Suns, suspended for a year for fostering a workplace that promotes like sexual harassment.
Not funny.
Funny but not funny.
Yeah.
And then there's
It's crazy how like Like, this is still happening? Like, are these men just mentally disabled? Are they weak? Am I weak? Is this going to happen to me? Am I going to do this?
I think it. I think why I want to talk about this is like how power corrupts.
Not me. Like, look,
You
I'm
have
at
all
the
the
top
power.
of the world right now. Can't you tell?
You're like an office character.
Speaking of,
Oh,
no, but I think it does corrupt. But I think like it just reveals who you are. Like if you're given the power,
I think it doesn't review. I think if you have cracks, it's gonna break those cracks. So you better come in correct
yeah,
if you get power.
it's yeah,
Like it goes back to knowing yourself, you know?
yeah.
Like you need to. I guess one of my questions now is like, is it a bad thing to do that?
What,
Wait, wait,
Adrian?
wait. I'm talking about specifically email Doko here. His consensual relationship.
Oh,
Because this is just, I guess, devil's advocate right here.
right.
Like, as a human man, the proclivity to Jesus.
Protecting yourself behind big words, aren't you?
The proclivity to the want,
Immorally.
the desire to procreate with as many of the opposite gender as possible. I like that. Yeah. And just like the innate feeling to do that.
I think in layman's terms, you like a pretty girl, you want to talk to her.
But like the reason I bring that up is because like I was saying, you need to know yourself. But some people want to be like that.
Right.
And technically, if the other girl is okay with it, then it's okay. But I guess it's not okay when you're in a relationship where the other person is expecting you to live up to a certain standard, right?
What do you?
I guess what I'm saying is like, Email Doko is wrong. The coach of the Celtics is wrong because he was married.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay.
Like, oh, you forgot about that little thing, didn't
Yeah.
you?
That just, I mean, I was going to say if like he wasn't married, then even that would be somewhat wrong just because like the power dynamic is too like,
Gotcha.
you won't ever know how that will influence her.
Yes.
Like whatever. Like
Correct.
this is weird. Like I was rewatching some of Succession, just
Mhm.
like, I think like the end of season 1, and Kendall asks
I thought you said Ken Doll.
Kendall,
It's like Ken Doll.
Kendall,
You know Ken Doll.
he asks somebody at ATN, the news network,
Yes.
to ask like anchor
Yes.
woman to go to the ball with him.
Yep.
And then the whole time
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm having a great time, like a robot.
Yep.
And then he confronts her, and she's like, well, you're my boss.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm not like that. I'm not like that. Like, but you are like that.
Yeah.
You're doing that right now. And he's like, and I think just like that, like there's no way like ethically to do it. Not that I'm saying never, but just have that self-awareness. Like, are you doing it? Like, is this like, just understand her. Like, is she
Right.
doing this because you're the boss?
And probably the best thing to do is not to do that.
Yeah.
Since it's so complicated to
Yeah.
even understand that.
Like, is it, she has to be like the one, like without a doubt.
Plus, you're already with your one.
Like, that's something else. Like,
Yeah.
if you're already married, then obviously don't.
Forgot about that small fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it for things and such.
What a topical conversation.
Ivan, it's time to quickly switch subjects to what's on the telly. Those sounds that the TV used to make, huh? Don't get that anymore. Ivan, what you watching?
Everything, Adrian.
Everywhere?
I'm ready to fight.
Ready to fight,
I'm
baby.
ready to fight.
Let's do it.
I watched the stand-up special of what's his face?
Gillis.
Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis. I watched part 1 of his best one moments. to get an accurate picture of him,
'Kay.
right? Like I see the stand up, then I see like
Yeah.
what's the outside? Like,
Yes,
what's he
outside
like?
the box.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a good mental model of this Shane fella.
We already lost Shane. We already lost.
And to give you the benefit of the doubt,
I did 10 hours of research into his history.
I know exactly who this Shane is. I finished Nathan For You. Amazing. Crazy end. This dude's a psychopath. I finished The Rehearsal. He's even crazier than I thought he was. Did you only watch episode 1?
2. I stopped when he was like starting his fatherhood journey, which I think is like the whole purpose of the show.
Yeah, it is. But you should watch it.
I'll watch it.
It's crazy.
Continue.
What else did I watch? I watched The Nice Guys, because I'm here to fight against Confess Fletch too. You didn't expect
I watched Nice Guys
I know you told me
like a week ago,
yeah.
and I also watched Crazy Stupid Love because of your recommendation.
Good?
It's freaking good, man. Just kidding. It's good.
Yeah, I know.
So give me. You're building a thesis, I think. It
Yes.
seems. Okay.
Shane Gillis.
Poor guy.
Look, and I'm figuring out where my beef is in all this too, because I
Slash taste.
yes. So I'll start off where you're right. You're right. You're right.
I want you to start crying. You're right.
You're right. Like Good Will Hunting, like when he's like,
Oh yeah.
nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
What did he say? Like
I'm okay.
something like that.
Yeah, forgot.
I think he's one of the better stand-ups in comedy right now.
Oh.
But it's tough to see just because I don't think there's a lot of stand-ups doing anything where I say it's the next level, where I think they're like just destroying like the concept of what like anything is. Like they're just like he's nailing stand-up. Like he's funny. Like I laughed at his stuff.
You're talking about you want to see the Yeezus of
Yes.
stand-up.
And I think that's where like
Nathan Drake comes in.
Nathan Drake, but where our taste
Is Nathan
differ-
Drake?
No.
What is it?
Nathan Fielder.
Nathan.
Nathan Drake's from Uncharted.
Oh, sorry. Nathan Field. Okay. Taste.
I'm looking for whatever's next,
Yes.
which is kind of bad in hindsight.
Yeah.
Like more like live in the moment, get what you want sort
Yep.
of thing. But Nathan Fielder, I think he is that next in comedy. But comedy is such a broad genre in terms of like what it does. Like there's comedy movies, there's stand-up, there's SNL, there's skits, there's whatever Nathan Fielder is doing,
Yeah.
like his weird reality show / non-reality.
Performative comedy art.
Yeah. And then like Bo Burnham, like I didn't watch Inside or whatever. I think that's what it's called. But he has like musical / comedy things. And that's pretty unique.
I think his stuff too is closer to your taste.
But I don't really like it. He's a little too like
Corny.
snooty. Yeah, corny.
Yeah.
So I'm just with Shane Gillis, like he is kind of pushing on like hot topics of like
Like the
what-
brand,
what?
the shirt.
Yeah, the shirt.
Sorry.
But he is funny and he's good.
Yeah.
But he's not next.
Right. So last week when you asked like who's really pushing the envelope,
Yeah.
I thought you meant like pushing the envelope as
Like
far
edgy.
as like basically being racist or something. I'm like, oh, okay, I got a guy for you.
Yeah.
Even though he's not racist, but I think you all know what I mean.
Yeah.
But you meant pushing art forward.
And like you mentioned, this is where I get you again. This is the second punch.
You're gonna burn me right now?
Yeah. I'm just relaxing.
Ooh, this is gonna hurt.
With Shane and his type, he does not seem like the type to ever do anything outside of stand-up.
Uh-huh.
Meaning he won't ever do anything outside, like pushing boundaries, breaking boundaries. Like his lane,
Trajectory.
yeah, is just pure stand up, and he's probably gonna get like tiny roles in movies for the rest of his life, and then stand up, stand up, stand up until he's like, all right, I'm done.
But I guess let me rebut that. He makes sketches on his
Mhm.
own YouTube channel.
Recent, good.
Yeah, he made like one. He works with another guy, another comedian, and they have like one season, and their second season's about to come out on YouTube.
What's it called? Why didn't you tell me this before? This
Uh,
is a flaw in my thesis.
and I that's sort of what I was pitching to you last time too. Like, I think the model that comedy was going down before no longer exists, and the new model is like podcast, your own stand up, and everything on YouTube and skits on YouTube. And you monetize everything yourself versus going to SNL because they're never going to show the edgy stuff. They're never going to show the funny stuff because they're too afraid now, you know?
Crazy too.
So I think now that people have the power, and obviously companies don't have even the power to be unique, it's up to real innovative. I guess they have to be really good themselves to be able to do what I think he's going to do and what other people like him are going to do, which is like, yeah, they're not going to be as popular as Eddie Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably also not going to push as many boundaries art wise, but there's going to be a niche for them, and it's going to be hilarious for that niche.
Right.
But that's not what you're into.
Yeah.
In
I
a
mean,
way.
I like sketch.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, depending on the sketch. But I feel like stand up is it's almost dated. Not that it's going to go away anytime soon. But it just feels a little weird now. Like that, like, because I know how like the sausage is made for that. Like they write it all out, like it's very planned, and then they like pretend it's off the cuff sort of thing.
They don't really pretend that. I think it just comes off like that.
Well, yeah. Well, isn't that the same thing?
No, because like it's not like they're making it a secret. Like everyone who knows anything about stand up knows it's written already.
Yeah, but I don't like that.
Why?
It just feels
Like a old school.
no. Just because I know they're doing like 60 shows and then they're doing the same thing over and over again, like it just feels like I thought that joke was for me, but you're saying that same joke
Right.
and you're laughing the same way. Like, are you cheating on me, sort of thing?
But that's needed, you know? Like that's what they need to do to actually, because in podcasts, like they always talk about like you actually need to do that many shows because there's certain like you always have to figure out like how to actually say it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're hearing something in San Diego, but in Oakland, it's like one sentence difference, but that difference is going to make a huge difference as far as
It's
the
like a
laughs.
play.
And that's what they like. If they just like write everything and then do like one place,
Mm-hmm.
it'll fail because they don't have any way to test that. That's what I like. I kind of wish musicians did too.
Test.
What?
Test out.
Yeah, like imagine Uzi Vert, he's like, instead of playing his music on Instagram, like, what do you guys think? He should like go to a House of Blues show.
Oh, like the test kitchen sort of thing.
Yeah, and like everywhere he tours, like obviously he can play his hits and his songs, but he's like, I'm working on this. What do you think? And based on the vibe, he can alter it on the next stop, you know?
Yeah.
But no one does that. I think the closest one that did that was Kanye, but his insane ass tries to do it in stadiums,
Yeah.
which is not the best way to do it. You need to do it in small venues to see like the reactions intimately and then slowly grow it out.
Confess, Fletch.
But I get what
Oh.
you say, like that idea of like you think it's for you, but it's like just regurgitated in a way.
I think it's with comedy it's a little harder just because comedy is like it feels a little more intimate in terms of like someone that makes you laugh is probably somebody close to you.
Yeah.
Like
and it feels almost tangible.
Yeah, like it's a real feeling. Like I'd imagine. Oh, I mean, even like a play where they make you cry. Like I'm just trying to like.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would feel bad about that.
Or what if like at a concert
Mm-hmm.
they play the same song everywhere they go?
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know why I have comedy in a different
Uh,
something I gotta
you gotta work.
on.
Gotta talk to your therapist about
Yeah.
that.
Why do I have different things on comedy? Like the hell are you talking about?
Confess Fletch too.
Oh, I watched Nice Guys so I can see like what's a good movie.
Yep.
It's good.
Yeah, Nice Guys was really good. I laughed out loud a lot.
Yeah. And there's like nothing I expected really,
Right.
but not in like, oh, they're doing it to subvert. It just like, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Like, it was so silly, stuff like that.
I like Ryan Gosling is really like amazing.
Yeah.
And low key Russell, what's his name?
Grow.
Russell Crowe is amazing too.
Yeah.
Like his archetype, but I like Ryan being like this like hapless guy who like sucks at everything but is extremely good looking. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude. You are good.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see him in Barbie.
Yeah. I feel like that's gonna be like my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's kind of returning like a
New wave of cinema.
like a Will Ferrell homage in a way. Like Talladega Nights in a way.
You think it'll be funny?
Yeah.
Like that? I feel like it'll be Succession funny. That's what's next. Succession.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I like this deep dive into comedy that you did. It's interesting.
More research.
You definitely need thousands of more hours of research, but yeah. I also don't listen to like comedy podcasts anymore because I just got tired of them. Like they say the same thing essentially.
Yeah.
Like when you listen to Joe Rogan, there isn't much new unless he talks to someone interesting, someone like brand new, that's when I like to listen to it.
Because I think like every comedian, like this is gonna be a long thing, but like every comedian
checks the time.
They have like their specific like go-tos for everything. Like not even like anybody who's funny, they have go-tos for like everything.
Yes.
And then
like your phrase, yeah.
And then like they hear that like yo mama, and that's
caught me, damn it.
And that's like their go-to. But with like a podcast, since they're doing it over and over and over again, I don't think these comedians are self-aware enough to realize they're just like burning through their best stuff.
Well, you're right and you're wrong in some places. Because like now a lot of comedians, that's where they, instead of like, that's where they sprout a lot of their ideas to actually talk about in their stand-ups. Like they say something that they find it funny themselves. They're like, oh, I'll just talk about that. I'll keep iterating off of that. And there are people, like you're saying, like they have a shtick and you're like, oh, so that's like all we're going to get like for all these episodes.
Yeah.
But then there's people like Joe who's like, they talk to interesting people, but whenever they talk about like COVID or the government, it's always like the same thing, like regurgitating.
Yeah.
And that's when I have to like really dip out, because it's like, I've heard this from you 100 hours already. So there is some of that where it's like people are kind of shticky on podcasts.
You know how shticky you get?
Shticky, baby. But there's people that also like, they actually like try to look for new things to do, which is good too.
Okie
You know what podcast I do listen to a lot now? And it's a weird thing that I can't stop, but football podcast.
Like, or
like the real football.
Football.
And like tactics. Like every team has like their own podcast. I'm like, oh, what do they think they need to do? What formation are they playing in? What schemes are they gonna like? Now that they're playing Tottenham, what do they have to do to beat them? Like, I'm in it deep and I love it. What else are you watching? You watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I'm caught up. I learned it's gonna be anthology, not like 8 seasons of these people.
That makes sense now. Cause like the book is a anthology, isn't it? Or like history more so than like a.
I don't know.
I think the book that is based off is more like a.
Skips around.
Yeah, like in the year this happened, and then they go through a story.
So probably Game of Thrones was like the first time it was like a book, like people,
Maybe, yeah.
because like that was like probably like 10 years of time, whereas this is like 50 years or something.
Right.
I think people are used to like
Oh, so
day,
it's gonna
day,
be
day.
it's gonna be like the Queen show. It's
Yeah.
like here's
Maybe that's just like the next thing. Like no more 20 seasons. It's like anthologies.
right. Here's the Queen
Mhm.
from ages 18 to 19. Here's the Queen from 19 or 29 to 30. I mean, I guess that means I guess it depends how far they go into time, like in the next season. Like if
Mhm.
it's 10 years, that'll be interesting. But I don't want them to go 100 because then all these characters are gone, right?
Well, yeah, but like I try not to read into it, but I see like YouTube suggestions and stuff like saying like full bloodline of the Targaryens,
Yeah.
and it's like thousands and thousands of years of like everything from like to Jon Snow to like the first man who walked across the Bering Strait or whatever.
What kind of freak is George R.R. Martin?
That's what I was thinking, because it's like he made a universe like from these books.
Like, forget world building. He made a universe.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot. I don't know, but I don't want to watch it because I'm like, I don't even know He's like my world history. I'll feel like a jerk trying to learn this.
That is funny, like, the amount of knowledge we have on, like, pop culture, but the lack of. You don't even know your presidents or whatever. But who cares? I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but like, I just stopped reading into them. Like whatever they show me on TV, or if I ever read the books, that's all I'm gonna get.
Industry is done, so I'm on the hunt for new shows. I'm not trying to watch too much stuff. So I'll finish, was
Nathan
it?
for you? Rehearsal?
Rehearsal. And then,
Nathan for you. I think rehearsal's easier to watch than Nathan for you.
okay. I'll probably just, if the rehearsal's like, ends amazingly where it blows my mind, I'm like, I love this, then I'll watch Nathan
I think
for
it's more like what is real anymore? Like
Yeah. Which that could make me want to watch it.
it's good. It's something I'll probably think about for a while. Get that microphone out of your nose. Can I tell you about a Nathan for You episode?
Yes.
That was like, what the heck is this?
Even though I think you.
This is a different one.
Okay, go.
He switches. The premise is to make one man turn into a national hero.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay. Well, his plan was to. I heard giggity. Did you hear that?
Outside?
Yeah.
No.
That was weird. It's kind of creepy. But he turned this man into a national hero, and the way he was going to do that is to switch with him, so he would pretend to be him, and then the real guy would like be off in like some storage unit somewhere else, pretty much. But his plan was to do a charity high wire walk,
Yes.
but he practiced this high wire walk for like half a year before he ever approached this man. And he switched it with the dude, and then he got the dude a date, and he dated a girl as the fake dude. And then like
Wait, say it really quick again.
the whole thing.
No, after the High Wire Act.
So he switches with the guy. He puts on like makeup, prosthetics, everything. And then he pretends he learns his mannerisms.
Yes.
He's like, "Hello, I'm this," like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like he recalls that like this dude was single, and like a big part of his life is that he has nobody.
That's the dude is the fake High Wire guy,
Yeah,
or
but
not the guy he's trying to make a national hero.
the guy he's trying to make
Yes.
Nathan, he practiced the high wire thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
He can high wire.
Gotcha.
walk.
Gotcha. He's just okay. He's dressed like him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he goes on a date with this girl pretending to be him.
Yes.
And then he like realizes like he can be a lot more loose as this guy.
Yeah.
So he goes to like a club and just like has fun as this guy. And then he's just like, why am I so having so much fun as this person, but I can't have fun as myself? And then like he doesn't even dwell on that. He just moves on. And then he sets up the date for the high wire act. And he does it, but at the end he switches with the real guy. And then that girl he had a date with was at the other side. Because during the date, he said, like, it would be amazing if after I do the walk, we have a kiss. And she's like, sure, that sounds awesome. So she's at the end. They switch, and it's the original guy, not the high wire guy, not Nathan.
Yeah. The real guy.
And she doesn't even notice that it's a different person. And she kisses him. And he's like, yeah, I did it. And he does like a speech. And like, it's real to him. Like he like takes the credit for everything. And everyone's like, I never thought you would do this. And he's like, yeah, I know. And it's so weird to watch like all of it.
But you don't think it's set up? You don't think it's fake?
Well, they did a follow-up, but I won't spoil that.
Okay. But so
it's real. Like he like legit had no idea he was doing all this.
But what? Okay, the thing that is fake is Nathan be like, why do I feel so loose?
No.
Because he's saying like, he can just say that to make it funnier, to make it more interesting.
But I think it's both. Like it's a funny observation of the truth.
Interesting. Is this observational humor to like the extreme?
I think it's some other type of humor. Like just.
It's like puzzle box humor.
Yeah.
It's like human psychosis.
Because like I think, because I try to analyze this. Like, what is this? Because it's funny.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's not funny.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's funny in like a sadistic way.
Yeah.
Like in a. What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just so weird to see like, and I know it's like partly an act, but he is like definitely social. Like he has social anxiety for sure, and he would probably never do this. Like he would never go to a club, but with the mask of this person, he has fun, like legitimate fun.
Oh, right.
And he's like, what the heck? So it's like, it makes you think, like, what's real?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, I could see that. That's interesting.
The rehearsal's kind of like that too.
Yeah. Yeah, the first episode made me laugh a lot. Like I told you, like how he's like, I can't have this guy lose the trivia, right? Isn't that so crazy that he had like random people?
Yeah.
And the guy's so awkward. It's like,
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. No, I never thought of that.
It was good.
And how the guy didn't want to bring up the same guy, the trivia guy. He didn't want to.
Oh.
He didn't know how to bring it up, and he was like,
Just sitting there.
putting it off.
Yeah.
And he's like, even in critical moments when like he had a lot of time to do it, he still doesn't want to do it. And it's something so trivial, you think?
Yeah.
It's like, just say it.
It like snowballed so big in his head.
Uh-huh.
When in reality, it's like, that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't care. Which is
But
just insane.
Wouldn't that even affect you even more? It's like, oh, you don't care at all?
It's, yeah. Like, I mean, two sides. You could be like super relieved or like, I just lied to you and you're not mad. Hey, what's wrong with you?
Well, forget you then.
Yeah.
I am going to finish Blonde tonight, but I'm excited to talk about it next week with you.
I've heard mixed things. I've heard good things. I've heard bad things.
It's perfect for this podcast.
I feel like I'll love it just because it seems like a very, I don't know.
Polarizing?
Yeah, not even figure, just the movie.
Yeah.
And I think, like, so far, like, polarizing things have been some of the better stuff.
Exactly.
Like Succession, I've heard people say, like, these people suck. Like, they're horrible. Like, yeah.
That's why you suck.
Yeah.
Person.
Yeah.
Ivan, anything else you watched? You watched a lot, sounds like. Is that it?
think that's it. I watched like 2 episodes of The Office out of nostalgia. Doesn't hold up.
Really?
It probably does, but like I think I'm just so past it mentally.
Now like every time I just can't with The Office. Like I've never tried to watch it, and now it's just I feel like it's the Game of Thrones. What Game of Thrones was to you, this show is to me as in it's too big, and it's too like
Yeah, I think it's
too many people like it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna watch it and just judge it the whole time.
It's still definitely funny, but it's just like so into our culture and so recognizable in every way that everything kind of feels like caricature-y.
Right.
Uh,
Ivan, it's time for a section called "Really Be Bussin'." I told you last week that I'm gonna try to get back into music, and it's slowly happening. And honestly, my life is better for it. And what I mean by that is, you know what's good when you switch music platforms. I'm on Apple Music now, and being able to like re-add the albums you really like,
Mhm.
you know,
Oh,
and just be like, okay, I need to have this in my album,
yeah.
and then like being able to see like new albums come in and having a better criteria to put them into your list.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna like just delete all the albums because I don't go through albums at all. I use playlists more now,
Uh-huh.
and like if anything, I make a playlist of like the 2 songs that I rattle in my head for 30 days in a row.
Yep.
Both by Elvis.
Just in different order.
Nothing but a hound dog, yeah.
Nothing but a hound.
But I mean, I haven't really listened to an album in like a year, maybe. Well, like
Kendrick.
besides first listens and then like the repeats.
I listened to like I want to say like 6 albums this week, and they're all like the Pitchfork recommended albums, and also like I've been like trying to dig back into Gorillaz. The
He.
yeah. Ooh, ooh.
Walla walla bing bang.
Just because there's such it's just such an interesting idea, and it's like there must be something good there.
Yeah, I don't know if Gorillaz is like super. Let me finish everything before you're like, actually.
Let you vomit.
Yeah.
Vomit away.
Because Gorillaz did like the internet band best first or first best.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
But I don't see any like modern internet bands being like, oh, Gorillaz. That's what made us. That's what my inspiration is. But like there's a lot of like K-pop like fake bands where like AI
Yep.
faces that are kind of doing what Gorillaz did 20 years ago. 30 years? I don't know how old Gorillaz is. 20?
1999-ish.
But yeah, but they're like ahead of their time, but it's not like they're super like Kanye level. Like Kanye, I don't know if he was ahead of his time, but he was definitely like the person who was vulnerable first and best.
Mm-hmm.
But you could see a lot of people saying like Kanye, that's what
Right.
did it for me. But nobody's like Gorillaz. Like people respect Gorillaz, they're not like Gorillaz.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting to see like this in any art genre anywhere, like this section of something do something first and good, but not really be credited for that. Because you can't really credit them for popularizing it because nobody.
Well, I think their legacy isn't so. Partly it's that like they're the first to be like a good meta band.
Yeah.
But I think their other legacy is like their different styles of music, incorporating like a bunch of styles into their music.
Even that's like forward thinking. Like that's what they're doing today.
Yes, that's what, and they're continuing to do that today. Like,
No, I mean the like culture.
oh,
Music is more like
right. As a whole,
everything
yes,
together.
yes. And I think if you ask the right people, they'll be like gorillas, or
Oh, like the scholars.
more like the music artists who are music nerds.
But I want to see like data of like gorillas, and then after gorillas, trickle of like a data sprawl of like its
Right.
influence, and like this is true data of the fact that gorillas created K-pop or
Well,
something like.
so I can do that with Kanye because I know I'm more
You could see the web.
I'm more knowledgeable about hip hop,
Yeah.
but I can't do that with like quasi alternative rock because I'm not that knowledgeable.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there's someone that could do that.
There should be like a hub of like these academics who have like the knowledge of like their specific subculture, and then like they write it out and like really put the data down, and then like you get tons of these people until you get like a giant like super literature book web of everything, that like how everything is linked together.
That's so like I think a simple way to do that now is beef up the influence section on Wikipedia, or like not influence, but like was it like legacy?
Mm-hmm.
Because they sometimes they have like legacy sections for artists, and it says like artists like blah 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 liked Modest Mouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they just need to like expand that a little bit better, where it's like visual and also the links work a little better and you can see it cooler.
That'd be cool. Just for like, it could update Wikipedia, like for more modern times.
Because now that I remember, that's what I did with like when I first started listening to hip hop like for reals in high school. I would go home, go to samgoody.com, look up Snoop Dogg. You scroll down to his profile page and scroll down, and it says like artists like Snoop Dogg, and then you would see like uh obviously Dr. Dre, Tupac, but then you see some artists, you're like, who the hell's that? You click on him, and that's when like the tree starts getting crazy. And then I started reading their biographies, their album, the review of the album, and be like, oh. And then you listen to them like, okay, this is not for me. This is for me. This is not for me. This is for me. So it can happen.
But I want to see that not just for music. I want to see it for like
Movies,
comedy.
art.
You see like Shane Gillis, and you see inspiration, Bill Burr, like Bill Burr,
Right.
Dave Chappelle, God, whatever.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs was a real big inspiration for
that fatty.
It would be cool too, because then you can like do not just other comedians, but like artists.
And it could even go back. Like, let's say you're doing Dave Chappelle, and then you see like he was actually influenced by some Russian writer.
Yes.
And then it's like that little thread now opens up to like a brand new like section.
Like, oh, I was trying to learn about comedians. Now I'm learning about Russian literature.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what Wikipedia does, but that's more like you have to put in the work to get there.
Yeah.
But I want the work to be done for me.
Ah.
But more like lay it out.
Yes.
Just like everything's connected. Everyone's inspired by everyone else.
Yes.
It'll be a little healthier, so people are like, you're copying this. Well, look at Super Wikipedia. Everyone copied each other.
Yeah. There was this DJ Academics.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about his situation where he was making fun of old rappers not being rich, essentially.
Yeah.
And then their thing was like just that the youth don't know about like the legacy that other rappers have. And I was like, it would be great for someone to create like a video essays of like, oh, you like Lil Durk? Then you'll like and you go back
Big
like
Papa.
Yeah.
1920.
Or trying to think of something more obscure, but yeah, something like that. Where you just like, oh, you like what's a cool rapper? Lil TJ?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, then you'll love Bone Thugs and Harmony.
But it's almost like a telephone game, because like they're inspired by each other, but like it'll be distorted with each inspiration. So like, let's say Andre, whatever older, and it'll be like some weird jazz
Right.
that's like not even close to him.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's why you have to do it like just like 10 or 20 years
Maybe
back.
in like a metaverse, not metaverse, but like VR, where it's a little more like you can see everything,
Interactive.
and you could see like pull it up, like Tony Stark sort
Yeah,
of.
yeah, yeah.
Because I think with just a scrolling page, it's so like
Flat.
ding, scroll, and then you lose your place. But if it's like kind of laid out, you could be like, oh, I see everything.
And then you just like
Stop right there.
all dramatic. No.
Boom. Pull up little TJ.
Expand. Thank you. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'll start working on that.
Thanks.
I also listened to another album called, I don't know that album actually, but it's Cash Cobain and Cho Lee, new rappers out of New York-ish area. And what I found interesting is like they're doing the Drake. Well, I shouldn't call it Drake,
House?
but they're doing the club music with hip hop.
Good.
It's better than
Drake.
the last thing I heard.
Oh.
And it is, I guess it's better than Drake because it's more them, you know? Like you can tell that's their style.
Right.
Where Drake is fitting into a style, this is like their style. And I think it is something that will grow, and we're just seeing like the seeds right now. But like there's going to be an artist that's more fully fledged than like the Weeknd of this or the Drake of this. But it'll just take a little bit. I guess what I'm saying is there's things out there, Ivan.
But we're not there yet.
We're there if you like that kind of stuff. But we're not Ivan there where it's like, give me a 10 out of 10 or else I'm going to throw up in your mouth.
Yeah.
Where's my carne asada fries?
There it is.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Ivan, thank you for doing this podcast with me. It was a pleasure to talk about Avatar. And next week we're going to talk about Blonde, the Marilyn Monroe biopic. But until then, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please hit the rate, review, subscribe button. Whatever you see there, hit those buttons. Just don't hit unsubscribe. Peliculas with the Bros. We'll be back next week. Peace out.
Bye.